I've been talking about technical exercises at the piano, and we've talked about the benefits of doing technical exercises, and I've also talked about the pitfalls that you want to avoid when practicing technical exercises as part of your piano practice routine. So I'm going to leave links to those previous two videos. If you haven't had a chance to look at those, I would encourage you to do that in preparation for this video, where I'm going to demonstrate for you some of the different types of technical exercises that you can do. Now, you don't have to do all of these different kinds of exercises every time you sit down to practice. You can do one, maybe two of them, and you really don't need to do it for hours and hours, just a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes as part of your practice routine. One thing I want to emphasize is that you do want to warm up your fingers. So before I switch to the overhead camera, I'm going to show you what you can do to help get your fingers ready. What you want to do is do some gentle stretching. You can just kind of stretch like this, but be very careful. Don't strain. You just want a very gentle stretch. You're stretching some of the muscles here in your arms, and then you want to hold your hand like this and then gently stretch your fingers back like this. Just very, very gently. Don't do any sudden motions. Just like that. And of course, you want to do the other hand as well. And then you can also stretch your fingers this way. Now, this might be very uncomfortable if you've never done this before, but be very careful not to overdo it. You don't want to feel any strain. You're just a very gentle stretch. And you can do it with both hands. And then you can do a little bit of just kind of shaking your fingers like this. I demonstrated this in a previous video. Now, of course, this looks a little silly, so if somebody walks in on you while you're doing this, you might be embarrassed, but that's okay. Actually, it's even better if you have your hands down here by your sides. Of course, now you can't see my hands, but nevertheless, you're just getting the blood flowing a little bit. Now I'm going to switch to the overhead camera, and I'm going to demonstrate for you just a few of the different types of technical exercises. And within this type of exercise that I demonstrate, of course, there are countless different exercises you can do. So this is just, as it were, the tip of the iceberg as far as technical exercises. Anyway, I'm getting tired of saying the words technical exercises. So let's switch to the overhead camera, and I'll show you how some of these things work. Okay, the first type of technical exercise that I want to show you is basically a very simple 5-finger pattern. And we're going to start with a simple key, C major. And all we're going to do is play ascending and descending 5-note patterns with both hands, just like this. And so you want to focus on keeping your hands relaxed, your tone even, and we want to connect between the notes. We want to play this very legato. Notice I'm starting out rather slow. And then you can speed it up a little bit. Another way that you can do this is to play them in opposite motion. In other words, now your hands will essentially be making the same motions. Because as you can see, when you're playing them together like this, your left hand is starting on finger 5. Your right hand is starting on the thumb. But let's start them both on the thumb and play it like this. Now, once you get comfortable doing that, you can change it into a different key. We can try the key of F. Now you've got a black key to contend with in there. Eventually, you want to do this in all the keys. Try D flat, for example. This could be a little bit more of a challenge because of all the black keys you must contend with. Or play it in parallel motion instead of contrary. So you can do this little 5-finger pattern in parallel motion or contrary. So that's the first type of technical exercise. It's a good one to start with, especially if you are a beginner. You can also move on and do maybe the first couple of Hannon exercises. Very familiar. Same thing. You want to play very slowly, very steadily, focusing on finger independence. And so on. And then the second one, and so on. I would encourage you to pick up a copy of the Hannon Exercises. You don't have to get the entire book. I think you can get part of the book. Anyway, I'll find a link for that and put that in the description. So you can do the Hannon Exercises, and then you can also practice some arpeggios. Basically, we're playing broken chords in various patterns, going up and back down. When you're just starting out, you want to do just one octave, just to get your fingers used to playing what is, in a sense, a broken chord. Now notice I'm using this fingering, 5, 4, 2, 1. You can also do 5, 3, 2, 1, whichever feels more comfortable. Whoops. Try to go too fast there. In the right hand, it's pretty much, you're going to play 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1. And then change it up by inverting the chord. And then again. And then, of course, we want to do this in different keys. And also in the minor keys. Once again, keep your hands relaxed. Make sure your posture and your hand position are good. And don't play too fast. And we're not trying to play really loud at this point either. Just nice, smooth legato. Now, of course, you can eventually extend arpeggios 2 octaves. But when you're just getting started, just stick to 1. Now, I have other videos where I take you through more advanced arpeggio exercises, and you can check out the piano technique playlist and find those in there. So we've done 5-finger patterns. We've done a little bit of Hannon, some arpeggios. Now we move on to scales. And I have a whole series of videos where I take you through all the scales. But for those of you who are just getting started, we want to play just 1 octave up and down very slowly. Make sure we have the correct fingering. Now I'll give you a little hint. You could actually start on B major. Because it's actually an easier scale to play. And you can also start one hand at a time. Start with the right hand in B major because it's the easiest scale to play. Notice how all these black keys lie very naturally under your fingers. And then when you play the left hand, you'll notice that you want to start on your 4th finger. Because if you try to start on this one, whoops, where do you go? You can't really put your thumb you don't want to put your thumb on the black key because that's very awkward. So if you start with your fourth finger in the key of B major, it's very easy to cross over from your thumb to your fourth finger. And now look, all these black keys lie naturally under your hand. And then you can come back down. It's very easy to cross over. I've always found that it's a little easier to cross over from a white key to a black key. And then put the hands together. But we're practicing it very slowly. I might have been going just a little too fast there. So scales can also be part of your technical exercise routine, but playing them very slowly, very evenly. You'll notice that the fingering, depending on what key you're playing in, is going to be different. If you want to get more advanced with playing scales, practicing your scales, this of course also helps you with learning your keys and music theory in general. You can go check out the videos in my piano technique playlist where I take you through all the scales. In fact, I think I have a playlist where it's just scales. I'll make sure that you have the links that you need to get to these different videos. Now we're coming to a type of exercise that can really be challenging if you're not used to it. And these are called independent finger lifts. So for example, hold down these 5 keys, and then we can exercise each finger. 5th finger, the 4th finger. The 4th finger can really be a challenge if you're not used to it. In fact, to make it easier, you can lift your 5th finger, and amazingly, this allows your 4th finger more freedom of movement. Now, I have a video where I take you through piano exercises of this type as created by Franz Liszt. Are you up for this challenge? It can be a big challenge indeed. There are other ways to do these type of things. You can play a diminished chord like this, and then practice lifting the different fingers, 2 fingers at a time. That one's not very pretty, but nevertheless, as you can see, there are countless variations that you can do with this type of finger exercise. So I'm just introducing you to this type of exercise. Obviously, I cannot demonstrate every possible permutation because we'd be here for days. Another type of exercise you can do, and this one will sound a little bit more musical. This is a chord drill. We're going to go through the basics of the 1-4-5 progression. In one key, we can start in C major, for example. You can start with one hand if you're comfortable doing that. And so you'll notice I'm using inversions to make it smoother. I'm not going like this. As you can see, that's a little awkward. So we start with this, C major in root position. We go to F major in second inversion, G in first inversion, and then back to C. So we have this little 1-4-5-1 chord progression that we're practicing. And then we can do it in the left hand. And then both hands together. Then we play it in inverted form, starting with first inversion C, root position F, second inversion G, and then back to C. And then we can do it again, starting with second inversion C major. The idea is to play as smoothly and connected as possible. Now I'm cheating by using the pedal a little bit, but that's okay. We want to make this sound pretty too. The challenge now is to transpose this into other keys. and you could work your way around the circle of fifths going in either direction. I just happened to start going counterclockwise. If we go clockwise, we'd go from C to G. So those are just some of the types of technical exercises. These are like the basic ones that you can start with. So if you have any questions, any comments, if there's something else that you would find helpful, let me know about it in the comment section. I would encourage you also to go back to my playlist of piano technique exercises. I have different videos that concentrate on these different types of technical exercises, but I wanted to introduce you to them all here in this one quick video. If you'd like to support my work, you can go to my Patreon page. The link will be in the description. My sincere thanks to those of you who have chosen to support the channel. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps the channel a lot. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.